Good morning. It is another Motivation Monday, and we are days away from the Unstoppable Women's Conference, May the 20th, May the 20th, May the 20th. And I am so excited just to be knowing that I'm going into a different atmosphere. I'm going into an environment. I'll be in a building that I've never been in before, right? I would be meeting people that I've never met before, right? Whether in person or some of these people I've met before, maybe through a conference call, right? Or maybe through a Zoom, but I'm going to actually be in the room, right? It's an in-person thing. So, I'm big on what are you doing while you're waiting? And so I've known this event has been coming, and I've been preparing it for it mentally, spiritually, financially, because all of those things go into play because I'm going to be traveling. So I won't be just traveling up the street. I won't just be traveling around the corner or just from Tennessee to Mississippi. I'm going to be up in the air, right? I'm going to be up in the air. I'm going to be flying, and I'm going to be reaching my destination. But while I've been waiting, I've been praying, right? I've been asking God to use me. Like, God, I have a story, right? I have a testimony like many of us do. And I remember at one point in my life, I was ashamed to say that. And it was almost if I was ashamed to tell you about the things I've been through, how I survived, right? And then it just seemed like every time I would turn on the TV or listen to the news or hear something, somebody was committing suicide, somebody was taking their own life, or somebody was attempting to take their own lives, or somebody was taking the life of someone else, right? And it helped me realize that a lot of times, or sometimes, people may be doing suicide because they feel like there's no other option. They feel like I'm all alone in this, if somebody finds out, what they're going to think about me, or, I can't pay this, I just don't have it. And it started to make me feel some type of way, right? Because some of the stories I was hearing, some of the media that I was hearing, reading about, was sometimes women like me, some of the women that were experiencing some of the same things I've experienced, whether mental breakdowns, physical, where I just didn't have the right amount of money to take care of the debt that I had, right? Wondering, how is it going to affect my kids? But I never thought about suicide, right? I never thought about taking my own life, but there's so many who do, right? And so it was just brought to me and said, you are a survivor. There's some people out there that don't realize that, hey, they can make it, right? And it just started, God started putting on my heart to share my story, right? And the thing about it is, sometimes when you start to share your story, you find out there's so many people who have experienced or been through some of the same things that you've been through, right? And it's sometimes, and I'm going to say this for me, it took me seeing someone that looked like me doing great things, right? Because I started to allow the world, people just like me, right, the flesh, to say what I wasn't going to be good enough at, or it would take too much work to do that, right? And one day I end up setting eyes on this lady, and from that point forward, I realized that I can do anything and everything that I put my heart to do. And I realized that some of the things that I was doubting myself for were easier than the struggles that I was going through. So it took Like I'm big on saying I was in a bubble, because I feel like I was, and not a bubble that somebody else put me in. You know, for years I was like, man, I'm here because of this person. I'm here because of this situation. And when I realized it's one, you put yourself in that bubble, right? At any time you could have decided to do different, which I have now. And so as I am preparing for this Unstoppable Women's Conference, I want to tell you that sometimes we feel like everybody's watching, right? We feel like all eyes are on us. And I'm here to tell you, half of the time, the people that you think watching you are not. Or if they are watching you, they got things going on themselves. But what I did is I changed my mindset. So for the people or the things that I feel like was watching me, or maybe, you know, I was under a microscope, right? Like, man, every move I make, somebody's watching, so I gotta be great at this, right? I was putting so much extra peer pressure on myself, and I didn't even realize it. I had to actually slow down, right? I had to actually stop looking in my rear view mirror. Oh, and I got a crazy story. So this morning when the girls got up, they, you know, we have this 15 passenger van, which I'm in now. You see it's empty, right? It was me and the girls. And when we got up, Mackenzie said, why we can't never ride in a van when it's just us? Why we always got to have a lot of people, right? And I was like, Kenz, it just don't make sense. We just finna get in the car. We finna go. We good. She said, but Mama, why? Why can't we just why can't you just take us to school sometime in the van? Other people come to school in the van. She not realizing, well, maybe she is, that sometimes those people in the van may be, you know, going to before care or different things like that. But it's something about seeing them in the van that Kenzie wanted to do. So this morning we got up and got in the van. So that's why we driving in the van. If anybody see me, go ahead, blow at me. It's okay. But just that incident reminded me, and I was like, you know what? We're going in this car. I'm not going to do all that. But it just brought to my attention that people are watching you. And the people that are watching me, that I want to set a good example for, right, are my kids. Now, stay with me here. And when I say my kids, is because they have seen me struggle. But they've also seen me pull myself out, right? They see me have hardships, right? But they see me keep a smile, right? And sometimes I think we're trying to overdo things. Sometimes we're trying to, sometimes I think we feel like we have room. Like, okay, I have room for more than just my family in this van. But sometimes in that extra space we have, sometimes we have to sit in that extra space right alone, right? Just us, and get it together, right? Sometimes we just gotta slow down. So I don't know how this van came a part of this video, because it wasn't supposed to be, but that idea just came to me about what Mackenzie was sharing. So while we're waiting, ladies, gentlemen, while we're waiting, take time to think about what it is that you truly enjoy doing. Not your wants, you know, not everything. I can say I want $1 million. I can say I want, but sometimes it does. For me, it took taking baby steps. It took me realizing that, guess what, Tawana? You can't do everything, but you can do anything that you put your heart and desire to. And so today on this Motivation Monday, again, I never know who I am speaking to or why certain things come to me. I'm still trying to figure out this van thing. I feel like it's more to say, but I got a short period of time. So continue to activate your smile. Continue to take those baby steps, and continue to do self-improvement, right? Work on yourself. Sometimes, you know, we're so busy. God, I want you to change this person, or I want you to do this to that person. But I think a lot of times, if we stop and just start to work on ourselves, right, and we stop trying to figure out everybody else, at least for me, that's what it took for me. I was so thinking that I needed this, or I need this person to change, when all along I just needed to improve me. right? I had to be happy with me. So on this Motivation Monday, activate your smile. Take those baby steps, right? Focus on you. It's okay to focus on you. Focus on you, right? So, for those who will be joining me on May the 20th in Austin, Texas, man, ladies, I hope you are activated. I hope you are ready to participate, because we are together unstoppable. Have a great Monday.